every time you guys tap the table, it's like we were having a debate at the table. What does "he would be dead" mean? Our friend Brett was like, does that mean like if they were in that situation, if they would have died? Okay, that's what I thought. Like, no.
It's like a universal like, if we put ourselves in that way.
Yeah, like I would have been. Okay. No, but we want to move this.
Oh, you need to be more this way though, because of your. Because we specifically moved that so that. We're so close. Don't look at my story. Don't look at yours. I'll just do the opening.
It was more the sides.
Just know who looks like what.
Diaz is the
Other than that, yeah. Yeah, babe, I'll just do the. Is it okay if I just set up here? I'll just do the opening here. I was gonna walk away, but. Do you need to? Everything's good.
sorry,
Good for 5 minutes. And your other one down. We are going to transcend together. I don't have any culture things to say today. Yeah.
Welcome to your Tindall Road Brewing Co. The show is up to the door. Please find a seat. Thank you and enjoy.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tindall Road Brewery. Thanks so much for coming tonight. My name is Will. We're going to get the show started very shortly. A couple of quick pre-show announcements before we get going now. First of all, a big thank you to everyone who came out tonight to see We Would Be Dead. Big applause to you guys. Thanks for coming. And for those of you who have never heard of us, bring through a treat. Thanks for coming, guys. All right, let's see, and a couple more things. In case of an emergency, I was going to do this in the theater. In case of an emergency, the door you came in can also be used to go out. Also, please take a moment, take your cell phones, pagers, electronic. I still don't know. Any electronic device you might have that might make noise during the show, please take a moment now to turn it off or vibrate if you so desire as well.
William.
First of all, John, we're going to take for you. Merch still available. You can talk to him after the show, not during, because we don't want to interrupt anything. And John back here working the sound for us as well. And they, yeah. And let's see, I think the other things I was going to say, I don't remember what they are. But it doesn't matter, because it's time now. Thank you all once again for coming. I'm going to turn the microphones over to We Would Be Dead to Holly and Leslie. Big round of applause for Holly and Leslie.
Pass for a pink cocktail. For a second, if anyone is counting, which they aren't. That was a crazy ending, she says through increasingly glassy eyes. You know that was based on Scott and Lacey Peterson, right? Another woman chimes in, looking as though she had been hiding a winning lottery ticket in the line of her skirt. The table reacts appropriately with shock and disbelief. Oh, come on, she says. Tell me they don't look alike. Google it, they look exactly the same. I'm just saying. That reminds me of a woman from my home who murdered two of her husbands by force-feeding them antifreeze. Another member of our party chimes in. She tried to make it look like a suicide, and she would have gotten away with it too if she hadn't left so damn many fingerprints. Sloppy. The woman slurs, now obviously intoxicated. About one, I say. I don't know how many of you know this, but my commute to work is everyone always knew we would end up together. Well, everyone but us. When he brought his girlfriend back from college, both of our families thought I was going to be horrified, but I wasn't. Caroline was perfect. So funny and beautiful. It felt immediately as if we had known each other forever. She was a sister I never had. I think I loved her as much as he did. One day, Caroline and I went out horseback riding, and she wanted to race. Caroline was an excellent rider, and she always won. I humored her in the name of a good time, and besides, if I got enough, maybe she would let me borrow the pretty necklace she was wearing. It was a delicate gold chain with a tiny heart. Perfect. Just like her. Caroline started the race and galloped ahead. She weaved in our trees so gracefully, but soon veered off the trail and I got sight of her. After a while, the race wasn't fun anymore, and I started calling out for her, but she wouldn't answer. I rode all over her with Lisette, at which point I went home. I thought she'd be there waiting for me, laughing at how slow and paranoid I was. No one had seen her. I checked at Mark's house, in town, where I could think of. She's gone. As though something in the woods swallowed her up whole. We called the police and reported her missing. 2 days later, the police called and told me they had found her horse wandering around in a neighborhood town, disappointed and hungry. They couldn't figure out how he had gotten there or why. They thought they didn't know because I was with her when she disappeared, but I was just as baffled by the whole thing. And then I remembered that Mark's brother had a look at it. I thought maybe Caroline had gotten turned around on the trail or injured and tried to go to his house for help. The police knocked on his door, but there was no answer. We finally forced their way in, and they found him there, dead, as in the gunshot wound, with Caroline's blood-splattered shirt in his hand. There were photos of her all around the cottage, and little mementos he had lifted from her at family gatherings. A drugstore receipt here, an earring there, a cocktail napkin with a smear of signature red lipstick. It seemed that if he couldn't have her, he thought no one should. They never did find Caroline's body, though they confirmed the blood on the shirt was hers. It still haunts me to think of where he had hidden her. What the hell? My friend said with a fresh pink drink. You have been sitting on a story for how long? I don't talk about it much, I say quietly. Mark and I got very close during the trial and investigation. We needed each other to lean on. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago from a sudden heart attack. And they never found her? The anti-freeze story woman whispered. Never, I replied. They think he buried her out in the woods, probably pieces, and over time the animals on her. Some people will do anything to get what they want. The lady is breaking the story's spell and asks us if we all want doggy bags. Girls say no, which is such a waste. I'll take the leftovers home. I say if you want them. I can give them to the pigs. Pigs will eat anything, you know. It's true. Pink Drink coughs out a little laugh and says, go right ahead. I smile at her graciously and add, hey, tell your husband I said hello, will you? He's always so kind. As I stop into a bag that the waitress brought for me. Will do, she says, as though her tongue has become too big for her mouth. As I walk out of the restaurant and step behind the girls, I glance my bag to make sure I have accidentally swept in a cocktail napkin, smudged Associate's signature pink lipstick. She loves anything pink. I reach inside my collar and twist the delicate chain that suspends a tiny gold heart around my neck. Perfect. I then check my watch to see how much time I have before the tablet I slipped into the second equal effect and place my bag of leftovers on top of a hacksaw in the back seat. Some people will do anything to get what they want. I'm Holly. I'm Leslie. And we would be dead. This is what we do every night. The music isn't playing. We do it anyway.
And we usually stretch like
Oh, yeah, we
two
stretch like
minutes before we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know the music. I love it. You've never done that for people before. You know? We just want everybody to have fun tonight. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Holly. Hey, Beats. It's actually here for that. Oh my goodness, welcome to our first live show. Thank you all so much for coming and for supporting us and for buying merch and leaving reviews and listening and all done the past year that got us to this point. We can't wait to do even more things for you. And I'm going to do this all quick because we have a live audience. But if you are listening at home, which some of you will be because this is our episode this week, please do us a solid. And if you are so inclined, head on over to Apple Podcasts, leave us a rating and or a friendly review. We wouldn't be here in this lovely brewery with this lovely audience without them. And if you want even more, we would be dead in your life. You can support us on Patreon, where for just a little monthly donation, you will get all kinds of crazy benefits, including additional exclusive content and the chance to get VIP seating at future shows, because we absolutely want to do this again. If that feels a little overwhelming, you can simply share anything on our social media to your social media. These who are here in person tonight, please take all the pictures. We are very vain. We'll do some pictures. Okay. Yep. Anyway, if you're not here, tell all your friends, tell your neighbors, tell a stranger. Then your friends and that one stranger you just told weirdly can all become friends and we can all get together. Woo, I did it. Yeah. Do you have anything to add before we start?
Well, actually,
It's special.
sorry, there's nothing. Not this week.
I just got so excited.
I know.
That was mean.
Jump in like that.
Well, all right then. On with the show. Leslie's first.
I am. Okay. So my story takes place. We are in upstate New York, near Buffalo. Thomas Montgomery was a 46-year-old man married to his wife Cindy for 16 years. And well, just to be clear, and the young teenage daughters. He was an ex-Marine who never was deployed or saw action, which is definitely something that kind of bugs him.
Okay, so make a note. Never saw action. Got it.
Yeah. He now worked full-time as a machinist, churning out components for power tools at the Brand Corporation.
There he is.
Oh, yeah, that's him.
Okay.
In his free time, he would walk his dog, take his daughters to the pool where he was the vice president of the swim club. He would attend and host card game nights with the boys, and on Sundays, he would teach Sunday school, which to me was already like a red flag.
Sunday school teacher? I can see that. All right.
Thomas was having a case of the midlife crisis.
Oh no.
He wanted more from his job, but would have to take more training in order to get a better position, which kind of sucks, right?
Yeah, that does suck.
And though his family was comfortable, the pay cut would be hard on them, so he decided to just stay put.
Okay.
His depression was severe now.
Oh no.
He had not been able to be intimate with his wife in some time.
Oh no.
He was his pastor, who told him that he needed to communicate with his wife on what's really going on, which is smart advice.
He brought that to his pastor?
Well, he didn't have a lot of friends, he was nervous, so he just went his community, which was the church. Okay? So Thomas knew Thomas knew that the pastor was right, but having a hard time talking to his wife about it. Instead, he began distracting himself with more card games, and this is when guys at work invited him to play with them online using that site Pogo. So remember, back in 2005, it was the gaming site of the time.
Oh.
Pogo.
I never play any games, so I'm just gonna trust you.
So on Pogo, he could play blackjack, poker, Texas Hold'em, any games on there.
He looks like he's in playing those. I can see that. All right.
And he would chat with others, so there was a chat on the sidebar, okay? And he would use the name Marine Sniper because that was clearly what he wanted it to be.
That's intimidating.
Yeah,
You
that's
want people to know you as Marine Sniper?
Yes, it's cool.
Okay, it's cool. Alright.
Sometimes the guys at work would meet up in the chat rooms when they played. He did this for hours every day.
Hours?
Hours.
That's too long.
It's addictive.
Okay.
Thomas said that these chat rooms were a great way for him to meet strangers that you can open up to because never have to meet them again.
Playing blackjack?
Yeah, you're just talking about.
Alright. This is a farm thing, obviously. I don't know.
Have you ever been in the chat room?
Yes, I'm not 100.
Okay, so yeah. So it was just he was meeting people that all enjoyed doing the same thing he did. So if you went into a theater-only chat room,
Which I do all the time.
yeah.
Don't ever.
So one evening he was on a pogo playing blackjack and chatting as Marine Sniper with the group when the user Tall Hot Blonde calls him out for being in a teen child chat room.
Wait,
now did
That one?
oh wait, yeah.
Yes, so this is Tall Hot Blonde.
That's all hot blonde. The tall hot blonde.
So keep this one up for a little bit, Will. All right. So now, did Thomas realize that he was in the team's chat room? I don't know. If he did, I'm sure he had a good reason for it.
Did he?
However, he got super paranoid that he was going to wind up sitting on a couch with Sanson on the next week with her. So he told Tall Hot Blonde.
Ew.
And now mind you, so again, this is 2005. This is pre-Catfish. Catfish, I think, came like 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was called. He was like, "My team, we're fine. I won't be on Predator."
Also, I live for catfish.
I know you.
It is my favorite thing.
So now interested, Tall Hot Blonde sends Marine Sniper a private message. So out of that chat group, and she says, which what I assume is ASL.
Age, sex, location. Yeah. Not that old.
So right away, Thomas learns that 12 is a teen, and her name is Jessie Sheeler. And in that step eye,
Oh,
so it says Jessie up here.
I imagine there's a heart over the eye.
Yeah.
That's how she
If she
signs
could, yeah.
it. Right.
So Jessie is a senior in high school who plays softball and basketball and lives in West Virginia. She lives with her parents. Her dad works all day, and her mom is a stay-at-home mother. She doesn't really.
There she is.
Yep. We'll just stay here for a little bit.
Don't leave this one.
Don't go too far.
She's got a French manicure, and her flowers laying in the grass pictures. She's good at Instagram.
So she doesn't feel really connected to her family that much, there seems to be like some trouble at home.
Oh no. With that girl? What a surprise.
Right? Okay. So Jessie wants to know more about Marine Sniper, and Thomas decides to play along because why not? He's never going to see this girl again.
Okay, Thomas.
He tells her that his name is Tommy and that he is a Marine who is currently in boot camp. He has red hair. He's 6 feet tall. He has broad shoulders. So that was that image that was before. That is. He says he suffered from depression after another guy when he was younger, and he even tried to commit suicide. But the Marines were helping him become a better man.
If I was 18, I would be like, I need to help you.
So after hours of talking, Jessie sends him a photo of herself. She is actually a hot blonde. I believe in this photo, so she's in a bikini. It wasn't like, it wasn't too provocative. It was still a sexy photo. And then over the course, she's going to send some more. So now she wants to see a photo of him, and that's when Thomas decides at this point to go full Tommy and sends her an almost 30-year-old photo when he was in the Marine. So that's his actual.
Oh, catfish central. Alright.
And she loves it. She thinks he is so cute.
Yes.
Man in uniform.
Look at him go. What a lie.
Thomas cannot believe he is getting away with this, and thus begins months of correspondence with Jessie.
Months?
Months. Their instant messaging becomes so frequent that the two start to call each other on the phone. Tommy tells Jessie that he can call her in the late evenings because that's when he's off duty.
Oh, right.
Or it's just because that's when his wife and kids are in.
Yes, that's the one.
She wants to send him a letter, so he has her send them to his father's house, where he can pass it on to him at boot camp. So really, it's just to his house, right?
Yeah, this is trouble. Do we not know if there is no catfish, or is this just a dim situation?
No, it's just there's no catfish.
Alright, okay.
Many of the letters are your average love letter. Jessie is just confessing to how much she loves him, and you're going to graduate, and for him to be at a boot camp so they can finally meet and be together.
Aw, so cute.
She plans to go to college, but feels really lost. She has a lot of friends because, like, look at her. But no one really seems to understand her and Tommy.
Tommy.
She tells Tommy that he is her way out of West Virginia.
Be together.
Yeah.
She's gonna be
This is like deep conversation.
feels bad.
That she is still a virgin and is waiting for marriage. Which of course, super excited, I should say.
No, alright.
Tommy writes back to her and tells her how much she has changed his life, pressed and wanted out of this world letters, she also liked to send Tommy little presents. Package included a necklace, like the one, like one of those heart necklaces that you break in half.
Oh, the best friends?
Yes. And she went with him. So she would wear his name on one, and then she sent him her name.
Oh, gross. They're 7th grade best friends.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, this is where I'd be like, is she 18?
Or 13, because, oh no.
Jessie would also send photos of herself in the news, but she had pictures of herself playing basketball, softball, and several other glam shots. So she's young. Okay, that's where all of those photos came from.
Leslie, she's a virgin. She doesn't send nudes.
No, she doesn't know how. She needs a boy to tell her what to do.
Don't we all?
One of the packages from Jessie even included a pair of panties.
No.
Ironically, the same day Tommy received this package was the same day he found out he was no longer interested.
Ew. I hate that so much. Cool.
So he's good now.
Is he? He sounds great.
Tommy and Jessie were really in love.
Aww.
Thomas, so not Tommy, but Thomas,
Okay,
the 46-year-old man,
Thomas, got it.
was consumed with talking to Jessie. It was all he thought about. She would ask about video chatting, but of course his laptop just didn't have a function because he was at boot camp. It just never worked out on that.
Video chatting. If they have, like, their mom has cancer or they have a car crash, it's all bad.
It's 2005.
Somebody wants to establish. The girl.
He knew now that she would want to meet him, and as badly as he wanted to be with her, he knew that this was not, that she was not in love with the real Thomas, but with the 18-year-old Thomas.
You think?
At one point, Thomas decides he needs to slow down with Jessie and start backing off. He introduces her to his pretend father through instant messages. Jessie starts talking to him whenever Tommy is on a mission.
Oh, on a mission.
Tommy's father is nice to Jessie, but tells her that the relationship needs to end and that he won't be relaying messages to Tommy or her. This is dumb.
Oh, okay.
Ridiculous.
So I will not tell myself anything else.
Jessie is confused and heartbroken, of course, which then leads Thomas to feel horrible, and in the end, Tommy and Jessie continue a relationship.
Of course. They wouldn't be here if they didn't.
Then, in December 2005, Tommy asked Jessie to marry him.
No.
Because once he's out of boot camp, she will need to be his wife to live on base with him, obviously. And this is all through instant message, so just back. Yes, I know, Tommy. It won't be long till it's just a Blair Montgomery.
Don't get engaged in Messenger. If you did, I'm sorry. Congratulations.
It was all they had.
No.
Thomas now like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
What's this?
Why? What happened?
Am I just blaring out?
You're just like the sound of 1,000 angels in your microphone can't handle. Yeah, you're good.
All right. Is this fine?
You're one step closer to Britney Spears now. Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, so now she's Jessica Blair Montgomery. Very exciting.
Gross. Okay.
Thomas was, now he was like, well, shit, I'm really in deep, and he thought about killing Tommy off.
Car accident. Mom has cancer. Is mom gonna have cancer now? I bet she is.
No, remember his mom's death.
Oh, already. Sorry. Something. Don't worry. Continue.
But he just couldn't do it. Instead, he decided it would be a good time to take Jessie's virtual virginity.
Ew.
I know,
Somebody else said it too. Thank God.
Now, okay, so I watched this documentary. It's I think you can get it on Prime, and it is fantastic. It is the most awkward documentary that you will ever watch. The most, because it's also really good, but all the people involved are just really hard to look at.
Okay.
And even they have a psychologist that's just like sweating profusely every time. That I don't know why they couldn't like dab sweat. And he's like really smart. You're just like, man, your upper lip. Okay, so in the documentary, they show like they're just highly uncomfortable to read them. So I'm not going to no, because it was too much. Because he describes his penis as a snake about to enter her, and that's when I screamed.
No.
I was done. For anyone that is you about all of this.
Is he?
Yeah. He's talking to Jesse and pretending to be Tommy was like a drug.
Of course it was.
And everything is now going pretty smoothly at this point. Thomas has fully committed to Tommy. The only time he is not Tommy is when he has to be Thomas in real life, although it's a little funny.
Oh no.
So one day at work, he writes himself a note that he leaves in his locker,
Ew.
and it says, on January 2nd, 2006, Tom Montgomery, 46 years old, and is replaced by an 18-year-old battle-scarred Marine.
Ew.
All paperwork is set, i.e., birth certificate, security card. He is strong, good-looking, a good-looking, battle-hardened boy. He has money.
Battle-hardened boy?
He has money in the bank, $2.5 million.
Oh.
He is a redheaded Harrison Ford. With a 9-inch penis.
My name
Virginia to be with the love of his life. So that's in a note in his
You can just write, okay, now I am amazing. And that's you. That's not how it works.
He's transforming, Holly.
I'm not transformed then. I'm 25.
And so what I love about this note, especially, is that he had told Jesse before that he looked like a redheaded Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
And she goes, ew, he's old.
Oh
Burn, that is a burn.
no! Oh no!
All right, so now here's where things start to shake up. In March,
Yeah, shake it.
in March of 2006, one of his daughters is on the computer. And she's in the
Daughters?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he has two like twins. And she sees the message from her, she tells her mom. Who had already been feeling a little bit like something's happening. It's been months, but she's a nurse, so she don't have to do this shit.
Probably cyber up in the team.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So she gets suspicious, and she snoops around a little bit, and that's when she found a box of all the letters and gifts, including the undies from Jesse.
He kept hard copies? Amateur.
She was mortified.
Yeah.
She almost didn't even care that her husband was cheating. She was more alarmed, and that he was doing with a girl claiming to be 18, so that's like what she was more alarmed about it.
Yeah,
And,
no, that's awful.
yeah. And so Cindy was after her just based on reading this out of the letters.
Of course.
She was like, this sounds
online.
like my girls.
Uh,
So Cindy decides to be fast and write a letter back to Cindy, or back to Tall Hop Blonde, Jesse, and she writes, Jesse, enclosed you will find a picture of my family. Let me introduce you to these people. The man in the center is Tom, my husband. There is no Tommy. He is taking advantage of you. You need to be much more cautious with your safety. You will only be hurt by a man who has mastered the art of manipulation and lies. Do not trust a word of a computer. Sydney Montgomery.
he does. Yeah, that's a badass wife. Also, he does look like a young redheaded Harrison.
Like So Jesse messages Tommy after getting this letter and is irate. Thomas, on the other hand, is kind of feeling a little relieved. He was just like, okay, like
The lie is
everything's-
over.
Yeah. But she can't handle that he lied, although she wasn't totally convinced yet. So she decided
Oh
to
no!
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
So she decided to message its workers who went by the username Beefcake.
Ew! No! Beefcake, you're fired. Get out of here.
I just thought that you could get that username. Like that's how really
It was so long ago that there's no numbers next to it. Okay.
he played on the with that New Times. Beefcake actual name was Ryan. And Ryan was actually a 22-year-old Buffalo State College who was at Thomas and lived with his parents.
Oh, she might like him. That's more appropriate.
So Brian was aware of who Tall Hop Blonde was, but did not realize the kind of relationship that she and Thomas had. When Jesse asked him if it was all true, was he 47 years old, married man, and father of two, Brian said no. talked and the two hit it off. Brian told me about his life. He's a college student studying to be a teacher. He was an athlete all throughout high school. He loves to coach Little League, and he is looking forward to graduating. So he's like stable.
Okay, swell.
As their relationship strengthened, he and Thomas' relationship continued to talk.
This is too many things.
Jesse's mom even got on the computer to tell him to stop talking to her.
Yeah,
That's my little girl. You need to quit. And to which he said, fine, but tell your daughter the same thing. Super immature. Like 27-year-old man. You cannot talk to her. Jesse's convinced that Brian, that they should warn, so Jesse convinces Brian they should warn his lies. They made him out to be a pedophile, which I'm not sure that wasn't true.
That's totally true.
He was definitely in that child's room.
He was in a child chat room, and he was like, tell her blood, check. No!
So Jesse, but Jesse also told Brian that he should tell a super about romantic. So now Thomas Montgomery's whole world is falling apart, and he lost the girl of his dreams. He would think they would be over from here, but Jesse ends up talking to Thomas again. She tells him she misses her Tommy, and he tells her that he misses her Tommy. So they decide to sever as friends.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of goes like this. Hi, I'm Jessie.
Hi, Jessie.
Hi, I'm Thomas. I just graduated.
Congratulations. It was really like rewind and
That was the end of the conversation.
I hate that so much.
We'll start again tomorrow. And while she was relationship with a 47-year-old man, she was deepening her relationship with Brian. The two were exchanging photos, and she had told Thomas that they were video chatting with each other 2 years in advance. Brian was falling for Jessie too. He was attracted to beautiful, blonde, athletic girls, and that's exactly what Jessie was.
Tell her blonde.
He was interested to see if this could actually become something, but at the very least, he was just really enjoying the attention, because he was also just 22 years old.
It's fine.
So when Thomas overheard the guys at work talking about Brian, who was going to meet up with Jessie, he snapped. He messaged Jessie about it. She, being a teenage girl, kind of egged on his anger a bit, and probably enjoyed like the jealousy.
Yeah.
When he talked to Brian about seeing her, he told Thomas that they were going to meet if they were. So Brian was starting to get a little annoyed. He was starting to get kind of annoyed of Jessie and her drama too. But Thomas, all he could hear was that Brian was going to take her virginity. And Thomas felt like that virginity was his to take.
No! That's not, get out of here!
So he starts to spread. He's edited. So he starts to threaten Jessie, saying he was going to send a gang of N-words to her house.
Oh no!
To gang rape her. And that was just one of the many. He gets really, really rough at this point. He also started to threaten Brian's life. Jessie at first liked how upset Thomas was getting, but when Thomas started to sound more serious about hurting Brian, saying Brian will pay in blood, she began to worry. She yeah, a little bit, and then she was like, those are kind of harsh words.
But fight over me.
Thomas really starts to get mean and disgusting with his words, and not very teacher dad language.
No, surely not.
Tries to try and relax, which she did a bit, but saying by saying that so she tries to get Thomas to relax by saying that Tommy was hers. That like you're my Tommy, you know. So
Unless
he's
you were
like,
keeping those names straight, because I would. You got it, you're good.
yeah. So she was just trying to calm down, and Jessie ended up telling Brian that she wasn't ready to meet him at all. So Brian actually never drives to go see her, and I think so. From what I can gather is that Brian actually had like a place to go to in North Carolina or something, like he was going somewhere, and he had mentioned like, hey, on my way back I can maybe just drive through your place and we can actually meet. And and so that was the plan. But then on his way back, she was like, this is getting too much. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
That's real Marine Brian, who is 22.
Not Marine. He just works at the Dynacorp. He's a college student.
Okay, but
He wants to be a teacher.
as far as we know, he is actually 22.
He is 100%.
Okay.
22 years
Cool,
old.
cool, cool.
Yeah.
Context.
Yeah. All right. So Jessie did feel that she should tell Brian about Thomas, saying that he sounded pretty serious about hurting him.
Yeah.
Brian was kind of like, oh, okay, good Tom. Thomas, still paranoid about their friendship or their relationship, starts to do some digging and goes to Jessie's MySpace, where she sees Brian's photo in her top 8.
MySpace.
And so I assumed that it was his top 8 because he was like, I saw Brian's photo on her MySpace, and I knew that they were like closer than he said. That was the top 8.
You got it. You're a cool teen, you know.
Now, on September 15th, it gets real serious here, guys.
Ooh, serious.
On September 15th, Brian was leaving work at 10 p.m. on Friday evening. He got into his truck, he opened on the engine, and shot 3 times through the driver's side window and dies instantly.
Oh no, we got murdered.
His body would not be found for 2 more days.
Oh.
Investigators at the scene spoke to Brian's coworkers, who immediately told them about Thomas and Brian's love triangle with the 18-year-old girl. They were just like, it's Tom killed him. That's what happened.
For sure, it's 100% that.
So the police go to Tom's house and find him not home, and neither was the family. The investigators are not concerned about Jessie headed her way.
Yeah.
Though all the correspondence, or through all the correspondence and the photos between Brian and Jessie and Thomas, they were able to figure out who Jessie is and where she lives. They call the Oak Hill, West Virginia police, and they tell them what's going on. And the police contact Jessie and tell them they're old.
Oh, okay. Cops are coming.
Meanwhile,
Call the damn cops.
the damn cops. Meanwhile, the police are under Brian Barrett. They know that he was shot at close range with a 30 caliber rifle. He was clear that the shooter had intentions of killing Brian specifically.
Rifle, that's a mess, too.
The back tires of Brian's car had been slashed, and he essentially was a sitting duck.
Oh no.
They also found a pitch pit by the area where the shooter must have been sitting and waiting for what they assumed.
Yeah, you want snacks?
Yep, he was just waiting out for him.
When you have to wait to shoot somebody, you gotta bring a snack. What if your blood sugar tanks?
He could have passed out beforehand.
He could have.
Never would have.
Thank goodness for the peach. This is what it's like to get my house when we record. Where's the peach pit? I don't know. Is it there? Okay. Leslie dances when she moves her face. She goes like this.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Investigators went to Thomas's house and found his gun case.
Okay.
The gun they were looking for was not there, but they did find a photo of Cindy with the gun case in the background. I can't get the photo. Oh, so that's the photo obviously of the gunshot. It's a photo of a photo. There's no photos here. It's a capture. It's all been wiped.
This looks like the ad for that phone. Why is that? What? Look, my phone will sustain gunshots. Tiny gunshots.
Again, if you watch this documentary, you get a lot more of the photo. So in this photo, it's just like Cindy sitting on a bed and like a big old, like, it's kind of trashy. She's hanging out. And in the background is the gun case, and they're able to like pull it for, enhance it, and then they see that gun is in there that they're looking.
Okay.
Then the DNA test comes back in the bleach pit, and it was Thomas Montgomery's.
Okay.
So now they just needed to find him. The Oak Hill police knocked on Jessie's door. Her mother answered, a 46-year-old Mary Schuyler. When the police asked her about Jessie, she told them that Jessie didn't live there anymore, but that she was away and she didn't even know how to. The police found this odd because they had just talked to Jessie. And after a few minutes of Mary acting weird and starting to cry, she finally broke down and told police that she had been talking to Brian and Thomas under the handle of Tall Hop Blonde and had used her daughter's name and photos to disguise her identity.
That's a good episode. Oh no! No! Could it be any worse? So how much? Is that you? Okay.
Thomas showed back up soon after, and police took him immediately. He claimed he was innocent, and his wife and children would testify on his behalf. But Cindy was like, "Oh hell, you."
100%.
He was not home. You need to like look at this. And then she like soon divorced him. He tried to get his daughter for him. This is also in the documentary. It's very uncomfortable because you hear him try to manipulate his young daughter to like be like, "Daddy's gonna go away for a while." And, yeah, and she was like, "I love you, Dad." She's like crying. Horrible. So he ends up deciding to take a plea deal with sentenced to only 20 years in prison for first-degree manslaughter. He realized he didn't put his daughter through a trial, and the trial was going to most likely give him 25 to life. Okay? So Mary Schuyler was never charged for doing anything though.
What?
Again, this is 2005, way before Catfish, way before there were laws in place.
Where's me next? That's not asking for, but still. I love her.
Her husband and daughter, the real Jessie, would find out what her mother did. Like Jessie wouldn't even find out until weeks later.
How mad was Jessie?
So Mary had told her husband that she had to fly to New York to take the stand. She like got subpoenaed, and that she was like, it was her and several other people. They were in this chat room with these two guys, and one of the guys was mentally ill, and he ended up shooting the other guy. But she was like, there were several of us, and we're all going, and we just have to like, make our statements, and that's it. So he was like, okay. It wasn't until Jessie's friends started making comments that she finally had a case her mom was involved in online and saw what she had done and all the photos that she had sent to Thomas and Brian. Investigators also found out Mary was pretending to be Jessie with dozens of other men, sending out hundreds of photos of Jessie to men. Most of the photos were clearly taken without Jessie's knowledge. There's even a photo of her that she clearly took of Jessie's like that like went up a skirt. And she was just like this. That's her daughter. And I would have to say they probably could have gotten her for like sending child porn because she had to have been under 18 or something. 100%. I mean, she was 18 at this point, maybe 19, but during most of the photos had to be like 16, 17. So I don't know what the laws are. Jessie's parents got a divorce, and Jessie no longer speaks to her mother. Mary has never apologized to Jessie.
What?
Yeah.
I know. We all feel that way. It's fine.
And so they do also, Jessie had a brother, and he would see his mom. He had like check-in once in a while, but he said that she was still chatting to men online like years later.
No. Thank you.
As he tried to commit suicide in jail, he stopped eating, he lost a ton of weight, and he took a lot of sleeping pills. However, he was 35, and he has tried to appeal, and he was forced into it. He just keeps getting denied. So, this is him like a lot thinner than like what he was.
Tommy.
And it wasn't until Thomas was in jail that Thomas, once he got into jail, is when he learned who Jessie actually was. Tommy learned that he was in love with Jessie, a 46-year-old short, frumpy, married West work with New York to make some legislation, which I think has now passed in New York, since that somebody like what Mary did can actually, like, she should have been prosecuted.
Yes.
And she has a book.
She has what?
She has a book.
Book. Don't buy her book.
That
No.
warns against like people like her on the internet.
No. Don't buy her book. Don't support that girl. There are other things. That was good. Right. Oh man, were you guys all surprised? I was obviously surprised. That works. So before I get to my story, if you are a We Would Be Bad listener, you know that usually Leslie will give us some super fun facts about the time period that we're talking about. Quiz me, and then I get types of that today.
I'm already high.
So Leslie's gonna give us some fun, and you guys can answer with me. Please answer with me. We will not call on anyone specifically, because singling out people is terrifying. But you can call out together. So Leslie, give us some fun. Let's do it.
So most of my facts are now in 2005.
2005. So put your brain into 2005.
I was a senior. I was graduating, so I was just like Diane.
I had already graduated college because I am a dinosaur.
So in my first question is, in 2005, who won American Idol season 4?
Who won American Idol
Was
season
it?
4?
I have Ruben Studdard, Fantasia, Carrie Underwood, or David Cook.
Who do you think? The room is divided.
It was.
Who was it?
Carrie Underwood.
Airborne. John, you airborne made it. I'm so excited. Yes.
Harry Potter movie was in theaters in 2005.
Okay.
I will go through all of them.
Go with it.
The Sorcerer's Stone, The
One.
Chamber of Secrets,
2.
The Prisoner of Azkaban,
Three.
The Goblet of Fire,
4.
The Half-Blood Prince,
5.
The Deathly Hallows,
No,
Part
that was
1,
6.
or Part 2.
Okay. Which one?
It was 4, Goblet of Fire.
It's gonna be in every episode. I love the air horns so much.
Massive social media platform was founded in 2005.
Okay.
Was it YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, or Instagram?
YouTube.
It was YouTube. Throwing a name out too.
Leslie's gonna sing.
Don't get excited if you
Leslie,
never heard me.
Leslie loves to sing. It's her favorite.
This
Are
is
you
how
so
I
happy about this
yeah.
right now?
This is how I would sing the song.
Okay.
You have to either give me the name of the song or who sang it, right? Or you can continue to sing it. Okay?
So, back me up because this is when I get hives.
Okay. Feel free to sing after too, okay? My life is brilliant. My life is pure. I saw an angel. Of that I'm sure. She's smiling at the sun. She was with another man. But I won't lose no sleep on that, 'cause I've got a plan.
Who's singing? Yes!
Alright, I'll do one more and then
Name
we'll go back.
it to the best.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta get down because I want it all. It started out with the kiss. How did it end up like this? It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss.
This is all that's happening now. Very good. What song was that? I know, but I want you to say it.
Alright, I have one more, but we'll go back to some of these.
Should we buy an actual air horn? Maybe we should. Yeah, that's true.
Alright, what was the top song in 2005? by 50 Cent. Feeling Good Inc. Gorillaz. We Belong Together by Mariah. By Your Heaven by Carrie Underwood. What was
Good job, you guys.
She has the top song for 40 weeks, Holly. So I'm not even going to give you options for this. Don't let you decide. All right. In Hollywood, yes. Who did Demi Moore marry on September 24th, 2005? Which film won the Oscar for Best Actor in 2005? Was it Finding Neverland, The Aviator, Million Dollar Baby, or God? You'd be correct. Alright, I got one more song for everyone.
Oh, there's one more song! Hooray!
You ready?
We do love a song.
This my shit. Oh, girl. That's your favorite person.
What's the name of the song? It is my favorite person. I love everybody. Whoa. What's surprised is why I wear red lipstick and cat eye eyeliner. Oh, I know. Leslie, that was so good. Tell us, Leslie. I'm sort of my host. I think. Am I talking into that now? Yeah. That sounds awful loud. No? All right.
This. That was too much.
Alright. Can we still hear Leslie? Because you're going to talk to me. Yeah. That's the whole point. Alright. So I'm going to tell my story. We're ready to reset? Alright, cool. Ooh. How many sound effects? Use them all. I love them all. They're amazing. Yeah, you did great. Come on, something. What a pro. Alright, now drink your beer. It is January of 2016, and Angela Connell feels like the luckiest girl in the world. It seems she had done the impossible. She met a nice, normal, successful guy online. His name was Ian Diaz. Where we confirmed last week, Disneyland is located. Prince Charming was almost Prince Charming. Well, there she is. Hyper intense world they got in the beautiful condo in Anaheim that he owned, and Angela was already pregnant. Sure, it was fast, but Angela was madly in love. Ian was quick to say I love you and was all in from the moment they started talking. He shouted with attention and praise. It felt like one long daydream covered in glitter and pink puppy hearts. No. The next few months were not as though. Angela lost the baby she was pregnant with in January, but quickly recovered and had recently surprised her new husband with an early ultrasound picture of the twins they were now expecting. Twins. So there, and for her new life, Angela had given up a job as a lawyer, but was looking for something less demanding that would accommodate her ever-growing little family. They made good money, thankfully, and the pair were not struggling financially and just new jobs. But then, one day, in the spring 2016, Angela was checking her emails when she discovered something was strange. A letter from a person she did not know. It wasn't a brush hour invitation or a newsletter she forgot she signed up for. It was short, to the point, and terrifying. The email came from her LinkedIn account. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it comes to your email. Is that right? Alright, cool. And it was from a man named Jason Bay. And among other things, it said, quote, "There are legends that Adam had a wife before Eve who was named Lilith, but this is not found in the Bible. The legends are very significant. The legends vary significantly, but they all essentially agree that Lilith left Adam because she did not want to submit to him. According to the legends, Lilith was an evil, wicked woman who committed adultery with Satan and produced a race of evil creatures." Vampires. It's like a nice, casual email to receive, right? Maybe he was offering her a job. That's what LinkedIn's for, isn't it? Super. Angela was justifiably unsettled and immediately told her new husband. He too was scared for her, but said it was probably some maybe a former jealous colleague or something, and she should delete it and move on. That's it. All right. But the next day, another email came in, and this time it was worse than the first. It said, quote, "I hope you are scared of death tomorrow. Be prepared. Don't sleep. Be watchful. The daughters of God. We will steal your child and we will watch as it dies. He, in parentheses, is using you for everything. I am his treasured princess. You are nothing. Watch your back tomorrow." What? What is happening? Yeah, I don't know how to get those, you know. That's awful. Angela once again brought the letter to her husband, and this time he admitted that he thought he might know who they were coming from. Ruh-roh. Before Angela, he had been engaged to another woman named Michelle Hadley, and the breakup had been volatile. The pair were together for 2 years and planned to get married. Ian and Michelle was with an extravagant diamond ring in December of 2014. The Anaheim condo together in 2015. Ooh, I cannot talk. This is the very condo that Angela is currently living in and currently planning their family. Michelle purchased the condo. Things became different between them. Michelle seemed to pull away. She became distant and angry and fearful all the time. And Ian began to suspect that Michelle perhaps had been cheating on him. Oh, good. Finally, in September, they called it quits. Ian asked for her ring back, and Michelle packed her things into boxes, loaded up her car, and drove away.
And then nothing became a vampire.
The daughters are gone. It's all very scary. But that wasn't the end of it. The pair fought bitterly over finances, and Michelle became enraged. One night, after a particularly nasty exchange, Michelle fired off an email that rang pretty familiarly to emails Angela had been receiving. The Reader's Digest version of it goes like this. Quote, "You're in your body, but your mind is somewhere else. Your sins are many, including defiling me and my family with your wicked and evil sexual acts. Your financial origin and irresponsibility, your gluttony, your greed, your lust, your sloth, your wrath, your envy." Is that all of them? No, we didn't. And most of all, your pride. "I will bring the full force of law and the word of God against you." We're like super biblical up in here. Ian said Michelle was unhinged by her breakup, and I would say so. That sounds
Just a little.
pretty unhinged. And probably had been watching him and was now taking her rage out on Ian's new bride. He was beside himself. Emails continued through May and into June, though they were from 9 different addresses. sources all saying the same things. Angela, in turn, had begun to respond to them, saying that she knew they were Michelle and that she should stop immediately before she pressed charges. The letters all threatened to harm Angela and her unborn babies. They all called her sinful and claimed that her husband didn't love her. The fairy tale, it seemed, was at the beginning of June, Angela filed a report, and on June 6th, Michelle was served with it. Angela thought this would be the end of her torment, but unfortunately, it was just the beginning. These are falling on my face, and plot twist, I don't even. I know, they're really cute. In 1 week, I would have been a big bunches on, and then they were my forever thing. So anyway, a week after the restraining order had been started, I get responses to replies to a Craigslist ad. These ads were placed looking for women to engage in a rape fantasy with, and they were all of a particularly violent nature. Essentially, this is supposed to be a pre-agreed upon consensual attack, and it's something that some folks seem to really like. Now,
A non-violent rape scenario.
I don't know. I don't rape people.
Yeah.
Was that the right answer?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You were like, they were all violent.
I mean, maybe just like, I don't know. Now, 100% not here to king shame anyone. Let me get that out of the way right now. These folks are all consenting adults. Basically, some of them really like the idea of taking someone by force, and some people really like the idea of being taken by force. And Craigslist is here to bring these people together with a single question about their mental well-being. Well done, Craigslist. Once they find each other, the quote victim will give the attacker details about their location for the day. They may even give them the combinations to door locks or tell them that the windows will be open. I don't like it either. That would be a nightmare because some people like it, and okay, you're all consenting, that's fine. This is just, I would prefer to do it, and so that's what they do. I know, I would sort of like, no! Okay. So once they get all the details, cut the situation out. Now, as long as everyone involved has a good time, do I think this has the potential to be problematic? Yes. Do I think if you really want to rape someone, it's something you should probably talk about in other venues? Probably, oh yes, but that's just me. As long as everybody's fine, live your life. Now, when people do this, honestly, everyone seems to be pretty pleased with their interaction. But that's not what happened here. Angela never responded to asking for a rape fantasy partner. In fact, these responses weren't even addressed to her. They were addressed to an account username Lilith. But Angela and Ian's address was the one given. So this Lilith Hadley person was like, come get me at this address. And it was Angela's children here. I'm so sorry.
Are there?
I don't know. Okay. Anyway, they were two account username Lilith Hadley's. Angela and Ian's name was given. And the message said, quote, if you are free tonight, come find me, wrote Lilith, providing the address below. Force into my house and take me down. This message was received on June 13th. And on 17th, Michelle was brought to court so that Angela could file a formal complaint. Angela brought with her a stack of printed emails and all of her paperwork signed and witnessed. Angela was terrified, but the Diaz family was right there with her. She put on as confident a facade as she could muster as Michelle walked in looking meek and frightened. Of course, she was trying to manipulate the court. Who would believe this small, polite woman was the manipulative monster capable of scaring Angela so badly that she had begun to experience difficulty? Peter and Michelle left the court without openly denying that she had written a single one of those emails, never visited a rape fantasy board in her life. Angela stood her ground, and yet again hoped against hope that this would be the end of the whole sordid ordeal. Now, the police were involved. Are you busy? Can we? No? Oh, all right. That's what I imagine. Exactly. Any self-respecting fantasy man would be like, just check it. I mean, that's what he was. He was in the fantasy. It just was. Unfortunately. So, she's really as polite as they were, too, because a lot of these transactions are pretty explicit, and they say that the woman screaming and protesting is part of the act. I know. And then we instructed to go through no matter what is said or not. So they say, I'm going to scream, if I hit you, you should keep going. Right. Again, don't love this. But if it's a pre-agreed upon thing, live and let live. Then, on June 24th, the Anaheim Police Department received a 911 call from Angela Diaz. She had returned home and was entering her car through the garage when a man came out and knocked her. She told him that he had choked her and ripped her. He tried to rape her, but she managed to get away and run in behind the health. And Michelle Hadley was arrested, laid up on $10,000 bail, immediately posted in cash. Angela was broken. Police things went quiet. Then, on July 13th, Angela called the Anaheim Police Department again to the outside her home. She calls it this time strange teens. There's a teen outside. But enough was enough. Michelle was arrested again, and this time her bail was set at $1 million. Yeah, that's a lot of money. When asked about this astronomical charge, the Orange County District Attorney said, quote, "We believe we have a true public safety issue, and if Michelle Hadley is not arrested, that Angela Diaz will eventually be raped or killed." Finally, Angela felt safe. She knew there would be a court battle follow, but now, the woman who had relentlessly attacked her for months was safely behind bars. Alone in her cell, Michelle was given permission to call her parents.
Oh, no.
No. They asked her if she wanted them to post bail, even though doing so would nearly bankrupt her. But Michelle said no. She told her parents to put their money towards hiring the best lawyer they could find.
Okay.
As it turned out, she and Ian had Prince Charming Angela had made him out to be. Ian and Michelle met on a dating site in late 2013. Michelle was 26 and Ian. Michelle had a previous relationship with her high school sweetheart, who she had married and then divorced 4 years later. Michelle said Ian was sweet and charming, telling her he loved her on just their second date.
Okay.
Red flag. Red flag.
Yep.
I'm sorry if you were all in love immediately. Red flag. And by that spring, they had moved in together. Ian had really poured on the charm and devotion, paying constant and tedious attention to Michelle. It was dizzying, like a drug. We all love attention, right? Yeah, it's pretty good. This is something called love bombing. And yeah, oh no, we all know. Oh no, it's terrifying, right? It is. I mean, I've been there too, you guys, so absolutely. A love bomber is a sailor that has the ability to basically flatter their victim into a coma. They will make you feel so loved, so special, so doted upon, that you don't notice that maybe their intentions are not the best. This is also effective, sometimes with men, and I say men and women because the statistics say that most, this is a man doing this to a woman, but I am 100% sure it happens in all combinations of all genders on both sides. However, statistically, it's all men and women, so that's all that I'm saying. So, men will love bomb a woman, they'll do this, the woman's not initially interested to them or attracted to them, And they'll do this until the woman agrees to a relationship. So this is what we talked about last week, where you have a Ross and Rachel situation where it's really not as great as you think it is. It's pretty problematic.
You beat them down.
Yeah, you beat them down until they agree, basically. Anyway, to me, I've been on the receiving end, and all of you have too. It feels like being hypnotized, right? I heard women refer to it as being dickmatized.
Oh,
There you go.
I don't like that at all.
I know, I've only heard women say that one, but you know what? Y'all can all have it. Yeah, use that, please. You live for the attention this person is giving you to the point that you don't really know what's real or what you want anymore. And so Ian Diaz slowly began asking Michelle to change. He wanted her to dress sexier, and he kept nagging her to wear crop tops and short skirts. And her style, she doesn't like that. He had her pierce her navel and get acrylic nails, again, not her style. This was not her at all. She described herself as a goody two-shoes and a nerd. That isn't what Ian wanted. He also convinced her to leave her job, take a $20,000 pay cut. Yeah, not good. To accept a marketing position in his favorite place, Disneyland Resorts. Yes, she sure did do it. Yeah, she went to work at Disneyland. No, so this was Michelle at work on a daily basis with Ian. Happy to watch her every move and report back to Ian, because now he also needed to know where she was and what she was doing at every moment. But Michelle was so far down the love bomb hole that she just agreed to do whatever he wanted to her because she was terrified of losing him if she didn't. So that's the other call sign of love bombing. You should be, the victim of this situation should be absolutely petrified that they're going to lose their significant other, to the point where you'll do everything you can to stay that way. Ian, however, I know we're all disgusted. Ian, however, wasn't satisfied with her just having her coworkers report back. He also monitored her computer and followed her around in his car when they weren't together.
Why couldn't they just be together?
If she went to CVS or went to follow her.
I know, but just hop in the car at that point.
What was about her CVS?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? You don't know. December, so yeah, the situation stands. In December 2014, he did propose to Michelle, and she did say yes, but her version of what followed a whole lot darker. According to Michelle, after they got engaged, he didn't really put pressure on her to have sex with another man in front of him while he watched. Yeah, he had been asking her for months, and she didn't want to do it. She really did. Some people might think that's the most fun thing ever, and if you do, that's awesome. But if you don't, don't keep pushing. But after giving her a gigantic diamond ring, he really had more to lean on, and eventually the pressure was too much. On Valentine's Day of 2014, Michelle gave in. She took I hate this part so much. She took a couple doses of Yup, and let her husband video her with another man. Yes, a man she did not want to be having sex with at all. A man Ian found on Craigslist. Sharp. Well done. The next morning, Michelle was sick, scared, and full of regret. She begged Ian to destroy the tape, but he refused, stating that, quote, "No one put a gun to your..." I know, she should have done right there. In the summer of 2015, Michelle put down the $14,000 deposit for the condo that I know that she and Ian took, and they took the mortgage together. She did, and then spent $14,000. After that, the relationship began to go sour. But it wasn't Michelle who pulled away. was the one who became paranoid, angry, and physically threatening. Michelle recalled Ian once pulling over his SUV on the freeway during a fight and telling her to get out. She didn't. Later, when she tried to leave him, he allegedly threw her down on the bed, threw her onto her as she tried to claw away, screaming. Sounds like a man who might know a thing or two about rape fantasies, don't you think? Yeah. At the end of the summer, the pair broke up, with Ian demanding a ring back and Michelle fleeing the condo in terror in her car. Michelle got a small apartment near Chapman University where she was working. They did get high over the condo, and one night in frustration and exhaustion, Michelle did send that initial biblically angry email. She blacked out and just couldn't even handle her life anymore. Which I might have too, that's nuts. But Ian responded by spinning the case against her to his pals in law enforcement, who, thinking he was in danger, helped him keep tabs on Michelle. Ian was tracking her every move, monitoring her computer, and showing up her job. In fact, after Ian appeared on security cameras at Chapman University, Michelle was able to have him banned from campus. Finally, at the end of after Michelle and Ian hired property lawyers to help end their dispute, they agreed that in 6 months, early June 2016, for anyone who was keeping tabs, that is when Ian started, Ian would fully assume payments for the condo. If reported by then, they'd sell, and wouldn't you know, just a few weeks after they settled, Ian met Angela. And then in June, things really started to get curious, isn't it? Curious. But anyone can tell a story, can't they? You just heard 2 detailed versions of the lead up to this. Obviously, one of them is lying. But
What about Angela?
girl,
What's she doing?
which one is it? Did it lose her mind after her Prince Charming broke up with her? Or did Ian systematically torture the women he said he loved? Well, neither. And both. It's called twist and shout. Now you get it. Welcome. Yes. Outwardly, it looks like Angela and Ian had been harassed by an angry ex, and the police were quick to believe this. In fact, in no point in the initial investigation was Ian ever interviewed. He was a U.S. Marshal, and if anyone should be trusted, it was him. Michelle, however, had absolutely no criminal record and a sterling reputation with all of her employers, not so much as a speeding ticket in her past. It seemed curious, and so 3 long months in prison.
Shut up.
She did not have a good time there either. It would seem that nothing but receipts. You see, she reported curious activity on her online accounts. In fact, Anaheim police 4 times reported someone, she suspected it was Ian Diaz, was impersonating her online. That is happening to her accounts. She got an email from Google informing her that a Gmail address she'd never started had been shut down. Later, from Microsoft, she received automated messages alerting her that her primary email was now being used as the recovery contact for a handful of new Outlook addresses. It seemed like someone's been trying to tie them back to her. I applied to a Craigslist ad seeking women in Brewery County. Then Michelle got an email from Craigslist asking to verify the delivery. According to her lawsuit, she emailed use a Craigslist fake list. Also, cameras in the Anaheim condo pool because remember she lived there and bought it. She knew where they were, and none of them showed any activity in that condo at the supposed this pretty damning for me, yeah?
Yeah, but it's twist and shout.
Yes, girl.
I want to know what's up with Angela.
And Michelle's parents worked tirelessly on providing her with an airtight alibi. All the while, Michelle finished in prison as the highest security type of prison. This straight-A student and college employee had stripped down and SWAT before she entered any room. Then, on September 30th, 2016, Ian Diaz drove to the police station and asked them to give a statement. He told the police that they should release Michelle Hadley because his wife had framed her.
Oh,
Remember Angela?
I do.
You do.
I do.
Good job. The lawyer who left her life to be with Ian and was twice pregnant with his children? Well, as it turns out, Angela was not at all what she seemed to be. She had never worked as a lawyer. In fact, she had previously been arrested on fraud charges for doctoring checks from her employers. Angela had also lied about her pregnancies.
No.
Yeah, shocking. The first one, the one she had told the police she had tragically lost due to stress, turns out that Ian had her terminate due to the timing of the pregnancy because he didn't know if he was the father, and he didn't want to raise another man's child. I did not say Ian was going to come out good. So, yeah, he still sucks. Ian discovered that the ultrasounds she presented him with her second pregnancy were fakes. She had purchased them online. You can purchase ultrasounds online. Don't do it. Oh, and the cervical cancer
Happened.
never happened. What? Angela had a clean bill of health as far as any doctor she had ever seen was concerned, but she sure did steal medical stationery and fake doctor's notes to make a believable case for herself.
I wish I had that talent in grade school, like stealing doctors' notes.
You'd really like
I
it.
would have been.
You see, the timeline I gave you in the very first version of this story was the one Angela presented the police with. But it isn't exactly right, is it? As it turns out, Ian has spoken about his terrible effort, and Angela had seen the legendary email of biblical rage, which was very easy to make a tone of. Further investigation revealed that the Craigslist posts and emails all came from either the computer in Angela or Ian's home, or Angela's phone. Furthermore, upon examining the squeaky clean security footage, all the emails, Angela's 911 call, and post-attack examination, they have determined also that Angela faked the entire attack, ripping her own clothing and causing herself. So she's like, okay, kind of beat herself up, but like, not too much. Not to hurt or anything. Ian filed for divorce immediately after he reported Angela. On January 16, 2017, Angela was arrested, and 3 days later, Michelle was exonerated by the Orange County District Attorney's Office. After Ian Diaz turned his wife, he was never questioned again. Authorities asked for the smartphone he had been using at the time of the crimes, but he claimed he gave it to his mom. And the issue was never brought up again.
I don't like the sound of that.
I know.
Why are you bringing that up, Holly?
On October 15, 2017, Angela pleaded guilty to 10 felony charges, including false imprisonment and perjury. Michelle had faced a maximum sentence of life in prison, but Angela had struck a deal with prosecutors and was given just 5 years.
That's nothing.
I know. She's now serving for Maryland Female Community Reentry Facility in Central California. Michelle, however, remains strong that Ian had a hand in all of this. Till Dateline that, quote, the failure to investigate adequately the role of Diaz in it is a serious concern. So, Michelle Hadley has an MBA and found a good job in her field, marketing for a beauty company. She moved across the country to New York to live with her sister and escape Orange County, a place where she'd become infamous. Her life may seem back to normal, but trauma has left a crater in her life. As Michelle Hadley explained, she's still climbing out of debt, largely a result of unpaid bills that piled up during and after her incarceration. By the time of Michelle's release, Ian Diaz had sold the Anaheim condo, which they purchased together, for about $470,000. She did not see a cent before $499,000.
Oh my God.
The end. I know. Pretty rough. She just every interview in the world. 2020, Dateline, all the news things. So if you want to see Michelle, you can. And if I were her, I would have to.
So that makes sense.
And she looks good. Like, yeah. Put yourself out there like that. That's way to go, girl. So yeah.
Wow.
Those are our cases of the twist tonight. So now we toast. And we usually ask each other, but I'm also going to ask you guys. Who do you think deserves all of our glasses tonight? I'm going to say from my story, Michelle Hadley.
I'm going to say Brian Barrett.
Yes.
And Jesse. The actual
And
Jesse.
The real tall ones.
Yes.
Cindy.
Cindy. Yeah. My letter.
So toast to all the people. Clink with your friends. Yes. And toast to all of you. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. This was really fun. I hope we get to do it again sometime. Toast.
This is the hardest part.
So 99% of the time I don't think of the tags on the spot.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say in honor of our live show tonight, if we were to perform an audio medium in front of a live audience, we would be dead.
That's good.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Bye. Thank you for listening. So we would be dead.